Sailor's warning.
Wasn't 100% with this image. I liked it. I like the idea of it. I think that it's rushed in as far as that someone needed to wait for 10 minutes for that sun to go down and reposition themselves just a bit further around. And I think that would have been a better image. But it's still interesting. It's fairly well executed. Just a little bit. It's just a little bit too bright. It just draws the eye a little bit too much to that part of the image.
And that's a merit for Janice Sugden. Inner Self.
Love the use of this lighting. I had to really look at it to understand what had been created, but I really like that it's a shadow of a shadow, or a silhouette of a shadow, depending on which way you look at it. Is the author here? No. Lovely. I really nice creativity. So what they've done is they've used a light to light her, which is creating this shadow, but other ambient lights create this shadow. So you've got two shadows of her on either a flat screen or it's reflected onto a wall or something. So it's really well executed. It's really interesting. But I'd like to know what they did.
And that's an honour for Ron Miller. Last Light Over Cattle and Crows.
Love it. Really nice. I've got a funny feeling. There's two or three things here that made me smile and made me think that it was possibly a composition. One is the cloud, because that cloud, although it's wispy, it looks like it's a time-lapse cloud or time cloud, so it looks like it's maybe a 10 or 15 minute exposure. The birds are way too sharp and way too precisely over here, so they look like they're possibly photoshopped. If it's not, love it, absolutely love it. Even if it is, it's still a lovely image. It's really well captured. I love the angle that it's shot at, getting down below the eye level of the beast, the tree, the light. Yeah, it's all really good.
And that's an honour for Rochelle James. Family Connection.
Yeah, look, in my baby sessions I've done shots just like this. It's a really good use of a background light, similar to the light we used at the portrait session we had here. You can that's either reflected off of a wall or it's through a reflector to create that bright white contrast in background. But you've got some really nice highlights, like the light is coming from three different directions. So you've got light falling onto the baby, you've got light falling onto the mother, and light falling onto the father. Now they're all from the same light source, but because of the diffusing of that light, it's really given them some really beautiful glow. Lovely, very nice image.
And that's an honour for Rochelle James. Floating.
Well, very well captured. It's an interesting shot. I don't think it really warrants that much. I think it's a shot that you can look at and take for what it is. I don't know how it could be improved. It's a nice image as well. Very sharp, those lines on it. Nice image.
And that's an honour for Sue Wilson.
Did someone switch a heater on or something? It's hot in here as well.
On the jetty.
On a jetty. Now look, I love jetties, but what I love about jetties is I love kids jumping off them at sunset. And that would have been ideal. If you'd had a kid just leaping off the end of that jetty, that would have nailed that image. But yeah, a nice image again, using sunset and using silhouettes to a great advantage to create an interesting image. Yeah.
And that's an honour for Gail Bryant. Fade to Blue.
This image, I've got a very, very similar image to this in a sunset scenario. And it was taken in Thailand. I don't know where this was taken, but it looks like a Thai fishing boat, but it doesn't. So it might be, it might not be. But a really, really good use of those blues, those contrasts and those colours, and that silhouette of that fishing boat. It's a really nice image. Really liked it.
And that's an honour for Rick Andrews. A bushfire near Tula.
Yeah, bushfires are always scary. They do create some really interesting scenes, some interesting colours, some interesting lights, but they're also devastating to the bush and all the rest of it. So there's something really interesting and something really nasty about them. But, yeah, I wouldn't like to be that close personally.
And that's an honour for Howard Baker. The Missouri.
Leading lines, they're great for images, great for black and white. I think the angle that it's taken at is slightly wrong. I think I would have preferred this barrel either in the centre or we're looking off and they're going up this way. I think having it there just makes it look like it's not quite right. It just doesn't look right. So it's very interesting and a great use of leading lines, but I think just slightly missed.
And that's an honour for Stephen Fraser. Fishermen and birds.
Yeah. Lots of sunsets, aren't there? Really, really nice. Very emotive, very much tells a story. Who wouldn't want to live there, to be able to go out fishing in the evening and watch the pelicans and drop in a line and come back and fire a barbie up. It's an iconic Aussie image.
And that's an honour for Craig Barr. Aussie icon.
I just wish he'd been on the upward. It's just stopped. I can see what they've been trying to do with the image, but I think the opportunity has been missed. The whole point of seeing the kangaroo in water is to see him moving through it. It looks like he's paddling rather than leaping through it. So if he'd just been up and just half of his leg, or the bottom half of his leg had been out of the water, or if he had been completely out of the water and the water tailing behind it, I think it would have been a much, much more powerful image. But still, very interesting.
That's an honour for Gail Bryan. Wait for me.
Yeah, I like the name of this image. It's like, I'm supposed to be up there with you guys. Yeah, just interesting use of the space in this image. It's like it's almost a rule of thirds, but it's not because of the other plane on the outsides. But I love the fact that the cloud is behind them and the blue sky is behind the other one. So yeah, lots to look at in the image, even though it's not a lot of detail.
And that's an honour for Rick Andrews. Colours of nature.
Beautiful as a back screen on the computer. I thought it would make a lovely back screen because it's pleasant to the eye, it's nice, it's colourful, there's some sharpness to it. But that's it really. I don't think it does anything else. It's a nice image. Obviously I love the colours and the fact that it's shot with a wide open aperture and made all that colour just blur into colour rather than any detail and kept that sharpness in the foreground.
And that's an honour for Sue Wilson. Surf's Up.
The contrast, I think, has been over pushed. It's been just pushed too far. I like it. but I think it's made it look a little bit more fake than it is, because I believe that's not a photoshopped image, but I think that because the background has been pushed so much and overexposed so much, it sort of detaches, it takes away from the foreground image, or from the silhouetted image. But it's still an amazing capture. It's incredible. But I think it's just a little bit overdone with that scene.
And that's an honour for Janice Sugden. Diaoyishu Rice Terraces, I think that's pronounced.
Yeah, so this to me looks more like a rice terrace than the other one did, but it's still got that element of pattern to it as opposed to still image. To me, it says pattern, carpet, bed throw, something like that. It doesn't really speak as an image to me. It's still, incredible to capture something like that and to see that, but I think I'd rather have seen it rather than try to imagine what it was like instead of with just highlights and shadow.
And that's an honour for Howard Baker. French Kiss.
Interesting. Yeah, it's it's well done. I like the way the lighting has been used here. I like the way that it's created the silhouette. I like the way the wine glasses are touching together in the middle. The hat had added interest to it, and altogether it's an interesting image. I like it.
And that's an honour for Craig Barr. Cliff Jumpers.
Yeah. Interesting, really interesting, love the action of it, but what are they jumping into and where are they jumping from? It doesn't really tell the full story. It sort of tells half the story. I mean, you can guess that they're jumping into the ocean, you can see a little bit, possibly a bit of spray there, but it's not, I don't think it gives enough detail of what they're jumping into. Maybe a slightly wider angle where you can see a distance that they're jumping into would have been more, would have been more descriptive.
That's an honour for Steve